What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again. And look, this video is just last night's match reaction. I watched it back and I weren't happy with it, and that wasn't because I didn't show my passion or I didn't talk about the game very well. It was because it wasn't constructive, and it wasn't really about what we need to do to change things. It was a random rant about how sad I was and how I thought we'd go down, and no one's dug me out, and I appreciate that, absolutely, but I'm trying to come up with some positives. I'm trying to think of ways where, you know, we can improve, and there's things that Everton as a football club can do. And I'm going to go through the game. I'm actually going to go through the players and talk about where I thought things worked and where I thought that things didn't work. And this isn't because of Frank Lampard getting it wrong or right or anything. This is a team that he's been managing a week, and he's done superbly well to essentially set us up in an attacking way. We went 1-0 up, and it just fell apart. It fell apart. Injuries occurred, and we just struggled. We just didn't manage the game very well. I don't think that was Frank's fault. I thought that was the players on the pitch. And I'm going to go into it a little bit, because these are things that we need to correct against Leeds, who are a very vibrant team, have got good players, and we're going to do a little discussion about that tomorrow for the match preview, depending on what time. So let's just talk about the game. Everton went into that game on the back of a 4-1 win against Brentford and was buzzing. We were buzzing, let's be honest. We were absolutely buzzing. And them away fans sang their heart out for 90 minutes. I even saw videos after the game when some Newcastle fans started being a bit idiotic, throwing bricks and metal bars at buses and coaches where kids were on and stuff like that. And I don't agree with any of that. I don't agree with it. And I don't think, any right-minded Newcastle fan will agree with it. But it happens, and we move on. But the fans there were bouncing, and for the first 20 minutes I thought we was alright. I thought we started slow. I thought Yerry Mina's passing was poor, but I thought we were growing into it. Then we took the lead, and it was a bit fortuitous, Holgate getting the ball off a bounce back, volleys, it hits a bounce back and hits Lascelles and goes in. But it was the reaction, the reaction was so poor, and we've seen it a few times this season where we concede goals in either quick succession, or we concede a goal straight after we've scored, or within a few minutes. And that happened last night. We concede a poor goal, defensively all over the place, and we go 1-1. And at half time, when we were sitting there, I was concerned. I was genuinely concerned. I kind of felt as soon as it was 1-1 that we almost wouldn't get back into the game. And that was my worry. That was the thing that I was stressing about the most. And we didn't. We couldn't handle Alan Saint-Maximin. He was absolutely exceptional. And I've seen loads of people on Twitter and Facebook and even in the comments of YouTube videos saying, it was because he was up against an Everton defence. I thought he would have played anyone last night and would have ripped him a new one. I thought he was absolutely brilliant, and credit to him, because we had to foul him to stop him. That was how we stopped him. And even then, he rode, he got up. So it was a real struggle. And they come of age. They really did well. The Trippier free kick, the third goal, killed off the game. The second goal, again, defending was poor. But again, what am I meant to say to that? Ryan Fraser getting in, first goal against... he almost scores against Everton, but first goal, I think, this season. And just happens to score against Everton, typical. You sort of know what was going to happen. And this is why I want to talk about the games that are coming up. We've got some massive games, and we've clearly got some issues defensively. Mykolenko having COVID, I'm not saying that he is a brilliant answer to anything, but the other left-back we would use, Ben Godfrey, is also out, and that's concerning. Yerry Mina now is concerning. So in my opinion, our two best centre-halves, or our best two defenders, are out. So that leaves us with a ropey back four. Means we haven't got a left-back. Nielsen Konku's out on loan, so we're stuffed there. And then you move into midfield, and I thought Allen was okay. I I thought Allen did what he could last night on his own. I thought Dele Alli was really poor. And I'm not going to sit here and crucify him for it. It's his first game in the blue shirt. I'm not going to sit here and crucify him for it. I've got all the time in the world for any footballer who's prepared to transfer to Everton Football Club and give his all. But last night, I didn't get the impression that Ali was arsed. And I'm hoping that isn't the Dele Alli that we signed. The second goal was his fault. He concedes, he loses the ball. And he doesn't do anything to try and get it back. Like, he doesn't trap back or anything. He's not bothered. I thought his little touches didn't work. So that wasn't great. I thought Donny van der Beek was played far too short. He was played in a central midfield role when I think he needs to be pressed more forward. Now, there was nothing Lampard could do about that because we had 2 injuries and had to make 2 substitutions. Calvert-Lewin had to stay on the bench. Demarai Gray coming off was an absolutely massive blow. Absolutely huge. And I'm not gonna put any more on this kid than I have to. But honestly, if this kid gets injured, we're knackered. And that is abundantly apparent that we are poor without him. Demarai Gray, losing him for any length of time is dangerous because he is the person that's got that little bit of magic, that little bit of trickery, and we haven't seen that with Richarlison. Richarlison has goal-scoring magic moments, the overhead kick against Norwich, finding a header when we needed it at home. He does have these moments, but he doesn't really beat a man. And as a football team that is where we are in the league, we need players who've got that conviction to take a man on. Anthony Gordon did it all night. He tried his heart out. I am really concerned about the rest of the season. When you bear in mind Everton have picked up, I think it's 9 points in 17 games. That form would relegate you. It absolutely would. Now, I want to think that we're going to be more attacking, we're going to be more aggressive, and we're going to play more on the front foot. But I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I can hope, I can pray, but I don't know. And when we're going up against teams like Leeds, who are quick, dynamic, they've not had a great season, but they've got some good players. Gerhardt's a good player. Dan James has got pace. It doesn't really matter about their injuries and Bamford missing and, you know, the weaknesses that Leeds will have. They'll give you a game no matter what. And I think this game, this weekend, and I know that Frank will play this down, but I think this game is absolutely massive for this football club. And then Southampton away. We have to get results in the next 2 games because I don't think Newcastle are going to be in this relegation battle. I saw far too much fight last night to put them in the bottom 3. I think you've got Norwich, Watford and Burnley, who are as bad as us. They are probably worse than us, but they've all got results against us. Or Burnley, yeah, I think that game was called off. I called it a draw, but I'm pretty sure we got called off. But, you know, we've lost to Watford at home. We've lost to Norwich away. And yes, we beat them at home. We need these points. And I've sort of earmarked a few games where, in my opinion, we need to get a result in. And these are them. Newcastle at home, we have to win. Leicester at home, we have to win. Those games are to be rearranged. Leeds at home this weekend, we have to win. Wolves at home, we have to win. Palace at home, we have to win. And Brentford at home. And we also need to beat one of the big boys, Chelsea and Man United. We need to beat one of those. And I'm saying that as if we're not going to get a point away from home, because we've got some tough games. And I'm not saying we can't go to Watford and win. I'm not saying we can't go to a West Ham and win. I'm not saying we can't go to a Southampton and win. But it's going to be the crowd this season that keep us up. It's not going to be the players. The players don't have the fight. They don't have the fight. They've proved it. They proved it away from home last night. They proved it They proved it when the chips were down at home against Watford. They didn't have that fight. And what I'm saying is, the crowd is different. We have to back them every single game. It has to be like Brentford at home. It has to be. We have to scream and cheer these boys on. Super Frank's on the works. We have to tell these lads that they need to put everything on that pitch. And if they do that, I'm confident we'll stay up. I don't think we'll win a game at home from this away from home this season. I don't think it will happen. I don't think we will. But I do think we can pick up the odd draw away from home, and I think we can win the majority of our home games. And if we do that, we stay up. And that is the end of story. That's that. So, guys, look, I'm leaving it there. I'm not going into it too much. There is a lot of players in that football team that need to sort themselves out and realise the task at hand. I think Frank now understands the task at hand. I think he probably did, but I think it's fine saying that you look one game at a time and we're not banking on the next two games, which he did. Fine. I've got all the time in the world for Frank Lampard. I'm not slagging him off. But I think he realised last night how big a job this actually is. You know, you look at the Everton team on paper, looks a decent team. There's not a bone, there's not an ounce of fight in that team bar Anthony Gordon, and that's just because he's a blue. Honestly, we could be in serious shit creek, and I think he understands that now, and I'm glad he understands it. I'm glad that he gets it, and I'm glad that maybe he'll set up and think, right, we can't be that open defensively, because if Newcastle can whack 3 past us, there's a lot of other teams that are coming up that can whack a lot more past us. So that's that. And I think a message to the players: any player that wears a blue shirt for Everton will always have my respect, always have my love, always have my, you know, hope they do well. But we need more from you. This football club is not too big to go down. No football club is. But this football club have plans, have ambitions, and yes, it's gone wrong. Mashiri's got it wrong. The board have got it wrong. But as fans, we don't deserve it, because we will back you every single game, home and away. We need you to step up. We need you to fight. And I'm leaving it there. Guys, I'll see you soon. Keep smiling. Peace.